You like Trump? Good girl. You like Biden? Come on, man. We cheated. Alright, good evening. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this meter or not. It's got a white face on it, and about bright ass LED lights kind of shade it, wash it out on the film. I don't know what you can see, but a boy asked me how to check transistors with a voltmeter, and I don't know if he's got an analog. I'm going to show it on quite a few. If you ain't got one of these, or like my other Cricket, you can check it with a voltometer. And resistance on this one, like this is a bad transistor. I know it's bad. It's made, I don't very rarely use it anymore. I used to love to use it. Your output side of your transistor got the little slice on it. You take and hook your ground up to that, and you should see some resistance through this. Nothing. Know that transistor's gone. Good transistor. Hook your ground on your output side. That's going up to about 12 ohm. And that's about 15 ohm. So that transistor's good. That's how you do it on that one. Resistance. These old meters didn't have a diode on it. I don't see any. At least this one didn't. That meter's old. This one here, oh, it's automatic ranging. See if I can get this where it don't wash it out. I think you can see that. That's on the ohm setting. Same way, but you check a diode too. Diode's the best way. Go from there to here. You're getting some there. You're getting some there. Of course, with a bad one, I won't read anything. That's on resistance, ohms. Switch it to diode. Diode's the best way to check it. Diode, same way. Ground to your output. 521. 564. About every one you check on diode is going to be like that. It won't check the other way. Some people say you can turn them on and off, but this ain't got enough current in it to turn them on and off. But so you want your hot to your ground side of your transistor. I ain't gonna say the correct words for this because most people don't know them as base, emitter, and collector. They just know your output side, your input side, your ground. It's there. You should see, if it's a good transistor, you should see something around 565 on your input side with the hot on, and your ground side should see around 521, and that's on a good transistor. Like a bad one, like this one, sometimes you'll see something on one of the legs but not the other one. See, like this one, the diode in that section is right from your input to your output, but when you go over to your ground, it's nothing. It's open circuit. It ain't gonna work. Transistor's bad. That's just on diode. That's diode on your meter. These little Unities here is really good meters. That's a Toshiba. Toshiba's read a little bit higher sometimes. This is one of the old good ones. There it is on that one. Like PP 100, Pill Popper 100. But that's how you check them with a diode. Like I said, you can check it with resistance if you don't have a diode setting on your thing. You can read it with resistance, but it ain't quite as accurate because it is actual diodes inside this transistor. But you can check it with resistance. Now, I wouldn't go by the number on it too much, just showing that it does have some continuity. That the transistor should work, but it's not 100% accurate. Just take one that don't work. It should show open circuit. See, this meter's pretty sensitive, showing the continuity through my hands. That's the ohms reading through my body. If you wet your fingers, it'll do even better than that. The thing's pretty sensitive, not arranging. But I like my old meters, old Simpsons. But that's how you can check a transistor when you ain't got one of these and you're in a pinch or a bind and you need to check it on a volt-ohm meter. You can check it on resistance. It's not quite as accurate as if you got a diode, but some of the meters people have don't have diode checking on them. Like this in here, I don't think it has it on it. At least I don't see it. You got a 100 milliamps, 10 milliamps, 1 milliamp, resistance times 1, resistance times 100, resistance times 10,000, 250 volt, 50 volt, 25 volt, 10 volt, 2.5 volt, and 500 milliamps. I don't see anything about diode on it. So I've checked this. This is the meter I used to use in the 90s because I didn't know nothing about anything else. This is just what I had. I used it and I learned how to use it on that. My other one like this has got an off setting on it, but this one don't. As long as it ain't on ohm. This had the same batteries in it for I just changed the 9 volt out in it, but the 9 volt had about 6 volts on it. It was still reading pretty accurate, but the only thing on this one is, the only thing wrong with it is the ohm setting, and it don't quite zero out anymore on the which it's probably got a resistor bad in it. It won't zero out on the one-time setting, but on the 100 and 10,000 it will. But it still reads correctly. It just won't go all the way down to 0, but it still reads correctly. I gotta prop this thing up where you can see it. I checked it earlier. 10 ohm resistor. Because you can't zero it out, you have to kind of zero it out with something low like this on it. So that's 10 ohms. That's a 10 ohm resistor. And then, let's see here, 100 ohm resistor. 100 ohms. So it's still reading right, just ain't zeroing out on all the way on the ohm setting. It just won't go all the way over, it's then run out. It'll go back, but it won't go over. I ought to take this thing apart and go through it and check everything. I think they have got a data sheet on this meter, and I could go in there and replace what was bad in it. I think Mr. Carlson or somebody's done it, but it's just showing you the way to check a transistor without a without one of these meters. Of course, these work pretty good. I'd like to have the I think it's a 70 or something other. I would like to have that one, but it ain't no big deal. But these, they'll give you HFE value and all kinds of things, or like this one won't. See HFE on it, 36, brand new transistor. Got it listed on the transistor 60, but it was on a curve tracer, so they can actually put more voltage to it. This is like 1.5 volts, and it probably don't even see all that. But I hope it's helped somebody out test their own transistor if you want to. You do it with a volt ohm meter. Like I said, you ain't gonna see a diode checker the best. So on this meter here, you got ohms, diode, and the capacitance. But that's set that meter to there. That's your ohm setting. See it here. And that's buzzing sound for your ohms too, for continuity. There's your diode, and that's for your capacitance, so you can read and this thing ain't too accurate on checking, and that's the reason I got the DER meter, is because see how this one, it ain't zeroed out. It's already off 13 puff or so. That's 390, and it's already off 12, 13 puff. So that's what I come up with this meter. Mr. Fat Cat got him one. I was looking at this one. I didn't have the money to buy it, and he bought one. He said he loved it, so I bought me one. And this is one of your better meters for the money. This thing's been a life-saving piece of equipment. It's got so many things on it you can do. It's a real nice meter if you can afford it. I think it's around 200. This one here you can get for about 70 bucks maybe even cheaper than that. It's a real old one, which is about 4 years old now, but I had done reviews on EVO or whatever he is, some guy out of Australia. Pretty cool guy. Unity UT39 139C. That's been a really good meter for capacitance. What I got it for to start with. not so good, but everything else is pretty damn accurate. That's the only thing I seen on it I didn't like, but that's a good meter. Alright then, I hope it's helped somebody out. I might not be exactly correct on this, but it's just the way I do it, the way I've been learned and taught to do it, and the ways that I went about it. So, it's better ways out there to do it. But when you're broke like I am, you have to deal with what you got to deal with. So, alright, later.